What is going on, folks? It is I, Randy, with RTS Mobile Gaming, bringing you another fantastic video today. In today's video, we are playing Diablo for Vessel of Hatred, which just came out a few days ago. We are playing the brand new Spiritborn class, and we are debuting a speed farm Torment 2, Torment 3 build, which you don't need a whole lot of uniques for, okay? We're going to be talking through the build itself. This is a Poison Thorn Explosion build. It is an incredible amount of fun. It is super duper tanky. It really leans very hard into the double Gorilla Spirit animal selection choices, which gives you an incredible amount of barrier to add tankiness to your build. It gives you an incredible amount of thorn damage, and as you may know or may not know, when you're playing Spiritborn, having thorns and poison together is really powerful. We'll also talk about the one uber boss that you have to kill. Really not very difficult. You can kill him on Torment level 1 to get some of the key pieces of gear that you need to make this build work. And from there, folks, get ready. We're going to jump right to the build right now. Like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Off meta Spiritborn Poison Thorn Build. Let's go! Alright, folks, into the actual build itself. Let's get started right away with some items, and we'll talk about some alternatives. If you don't have the unique items, let's rock and roll. So first off, the Poison Thorn build is built around the overall Toxic Skin ability to double the damage you deal with thorns to poison enemies. That combined with the Spirit Hall animals Gorilla selection, applying thorns when you hit an enemy as well as giving yourself a barrier, now allows an incredible amount of synergy between Gorilla and Centipede skills. When an enemy is poisoned, they take incredible damage, and every time you deal damage, you're going to deal bonus thorn damage, okay? So that's a really big deal. All of our skills and legendary things like that are going to be focused on that, okay? So I'll start with the uniques first and their alternatives, okay? First off, the Loyalty's Mantle. This is a really great unique. This is going to give you a double bonus to your Gorilla Spirit Hall, okay? Meaning that I will have actually 200% thorns on my enemy's hit. I'll get double the barrier here, or whatever your percentage bonus is. You can see that my bonus right is 100%, and then I reduce the cooldown by 52%, which means cooldowns such as my 20.29 second armored hide will be closer to about 10 seconds. Okay, so the cooldown reduction is really great. It doesn't scale 1-to-1 like that, but this helmet is probably best in slot for this build until you get into the mythic level, which we can talk about in a different video. Alternatively for that, the Harmony of Ebawak is also a really great helmet. Okay, this is going to give you damage bonus based on the spirit type per skill. This isn't quite as valuable as Loyalty's Mantle, but it's different. This is the multiplier, whereas the other one is just doubling the bonus you get from your spirit animal. So this is also a very powerful helmet. I used it for a long time. It works really well until I got the Loyalty's Mantle. Next, okay, on to the Ancestral Razor Plate that I have here. You can get this from the Vampire Lord Uber Boss, okay, using your blood. Now, this is definitely best in slot, okay, but I was able to farm Torment 1 with a speed farm build without this particular chest until I was able to kill that boss and basically get both my chest and my staff, which I'll show you in just a minute. But Razor Plate is best in slot. All the damage you're dealing here is predominantly thorns damage. There's always some basic attack damage as well. Now, if you don't have this chest, you can use a regular legendary chest and just put a good defensive affix on it. You can put 2 sub-thorn skills, okay? You can get the Bastion skill through the utility tree, or you can get the plus 70 thorns through the utility tree, which isn't... They're relatively comparable over there, but it's obviously not going to be quite as good as Razor Plate. If you want to speed form Tier 2 and Tier 3, you definitely want to get Razor Plate. But like I said, I was able to speed farm Tier 1 Torment no problem without it. Okay? For the gloves, Pain Gorger's Gauntlet. This is probably the best in slot because this is going to mean that when you poison the enemies around you, you'll be applying this marked status to them, okay? And then when you do a basic attack against a marked enemy, it is going to splash damage all that basic attack times 200% to all of those enemies on the screen. You will also be triggering all the thorn damage from your Gorilla skill tree, which is really great. A lot of synergy right there. Okay, so these are really great. However, I was able to do great job speed farming Torment 2 with the Bristleback Doom gauntlets that I'm showing you here, using this ability to trigger Thorns damage whenever I dodge or block, because you have high block and dodge rate with this build. Okay, this also allows you to put more damage affixes on the gloves themselves. So it's really, while the Pain Gorgers is best in slot, you can definitely get away with doing a great job with regular legendary gloves. Okay, on to the legs. Now, I don't have any unique legs that are good for this build yet, but I luckily did get these fantastic Doom Coitus of Might, which have 3 defensive skills on them, including dodge chance. Okay, here I was able to roll the sub tempers into total armor and rock splitter. Total armor is a big focus for this build. You want to have an incredible amount of armor. You want to be over the 1,000 armor minimum, but you want to have a great amount of armor in general in order to give yourself more weapon damage, which we'll talk about in a minute. Okay. You can put any defensive affix on this. I have the basic skills giving me damage reduction. This is great. You can also have the armor bonus. I was using that as well. I'm still testing out which one I like better, but they're both great. For the boots, there are a few different types of boots that you can use here, okay? Honestly, I did find that having the regular legendary boots using this basic attack reducing my cooldowns is a big deal, because this allows me to have very, very consistent uptime, almost 100% on Scourge, which is the main way you're applying this marked debuff from your gloves, and the main way you're applying your poison to get your 100% bonus thorns damage from toxic skin. Okay, so you're able to get almost 100% uptime with Scourge. You're able to get incredible uptime with Armored Hide, both by just using these boots. You're doing so many basic attacks with so much attack speed that you are basically able to just spam reduce the cooldowns, which is really great. Okay, on to the weapon. The Spiritborn Tech. This thing is definitely best in slot. I didn't have this until about halfway through my tier 2 speed farming. I was able to do tier 2 speed farming with a different item that I'll show you in a minute, but I got this again from the Vampire Lord. Both the Spiritborn Tech, the Spiritborn Tech, I said that wrong, and the Razor Plate both drop off the Vampire Lord, which again, you can summon using your Exquisite Blood. So get some of those on Torment 1, immediately go kill that boss and get these 2 items, no problem, okay? But this is going to basically mean that every time I use a basic attack, it will always use a third attack. Now, we'll get into skills in a minute, but every third attack, I apply 100% of my thorns to enemies, and it also boosts my thorns by 80 for 5 seconds, which is great. But really what we care about here is the fact that you are going to be dealing all this AoE thorns. You're also going to be dealing a bunch of bonus damage on basic attack, and if we combine that with the Pain Gorger gauntlets, my basic attacks are going to be hitting like cannons, okay? So it's really, really great. It really helps you boost your damage right there. Not only that, this gives you a chance to do double damage with your basic attacks, and it also gives you points to follow through. Follow through gives you bonus damage on basic attacks. So every time I do a basic attack, I actually get bonus damage from the third cast, which, as you know, is every time. So this adds a 44% multiplier now to my basic attacks in general, plus the chance to do bonus damage, plus the overall bonus damage, plus we have this 200 multiplier against marked enemies, so I'm actually probably dealing more basic attack damage to the enemies around my main target, which is really, really great for clearing trash mobs, okay? This is very key synergy for the overall speed farming. Now, I was, like I said, able to farm Tier 1 and Tier 2 Torment using this Tormented Jade Glaive, okay? Using the enemies who walk while poisoned, take a massive amount of thorn damage per second. I don't even have a high roll on this. This basically makes thorns into a damage per second skill, which is really interesting. This is a very different build than the basic attack build I'm running right now, but this is the evolution. I farmed Torment 1 and 2 with Tormentor's Jade Glaive using these abilities here with high damage over time thorn skills. They were ticking for like 150 to 200k. Now I'm hitting for 2.5 to 3 million sometimes. So we've evolved the build, but this is perfect for farming, perfect alternative for leveling and for farming Torment 1 and Torment 2. Not a problem, okay? All right, into the necklace. Now, we are not using any unique amulets or rings at this time. That might change in the future, but right now, I really am enjoying this. So overall, you really want this legendary affix on your amulet. This is going to give you the amulet stats you want to have, like attack speed, some crit, some armor. This is really great. Substats, 2 different thorn substats. So 2 ranks of Bastion is going to give me 40 thorns apiece, plus the 60 here. I'm getting 140 just about bonus thorns from this item, okay? I'm also getting, whenever I do cast a gorilla skill, which is all my skills, I'm getting a percentage of my weapon damage boosted by the amount of armor that I have. So this is where having high armor is really, really great. Not only do you want to have high armor so you can counteract the Torment, which gives you minus 250 armor per Torment level, having this bonus armor is going to help boost your damage from this skill, okay? So it's a tremendous damage bonus to get that 36% right now. Max rolled fit 45%, so 45% would be like another plus 60, 70% damage to my weapon, okay? Which is fantastic. Okay, onto the rings. The rings are really great as well. We have a lot of attack speed. You're seeing a lot of themes here with attack speed on all of our items because, again, we are spreading thorns every attack speed, every single basic attack because we're using the Sepazon tech and the gorilla skills. Now we're applying an incredible amount of thorns to everybody all the time, so attack speed is actually the biggest deal. The attack speed is also going to dramatically reduce our cooldowns through the boots, right? So, here we are using the overall vampire skill where I do basic attacks. I get bonus basic attack damage and attack speed for 10 seconds. Okay? And this is really, really incredible. I have added defensive cooldown reduction and gorilla damage to both of my rings. Well, I tried to do both of my rings. I ran out of tempers on this one. But defensive cooldown reduction is going to reduce the cooldown of your armored hide and your scourge, so that's even additional cooldown reduction. You definitely want to try and get that. The gorilla damage I am testing out. I may end up moving away from the gorilla damage bonus. I haven't decided if I like this yet or not, but it seems to be performing pretty well. So both rings are specializing in attack speed. I tried to get some crit rate moving in here because we are doing a lot of physical damage instances, and getting more crits is going to be better. But we'll evaluate that as we move along. So into the second ring. Oh, the first ring skill, right? Attack speed. You can also, I was also using the damage multiplier for having a barrier, because you have a pretty much 100% uptime with barrier. There's also a legendary skill that allows you to do bonus damage on basic attack when you're above 50% resources. So I think any one of those 3 skills is going to be really, really powerful. They'll probably have relatively similar overall effects on your damage. And like I said, the barrier was really nice. I'm using this one for the attack speed, okay? And next, we just have straight bonus basic to our attack speed on our second ring here. Again, with gorilla damage. Again, I did try to get the temper roll for getting defensive cooldown, but I was unsuccessful. Now I just have resource regeneration, which is kind of useless. But again, attack speed. Vulnerability. We're having a lot of vulnerable applications in this build. We'll take a look at that in a second with the skills, okay? The Spirit Hall, double gorilla. This works well with the helmet, okay? This is going to give you a bonus to that, 100% bonus to that if you're using this helmet. If you're using a different helmet like the Harmony of the Ebawaka or a non-unique helmet, you're probably going to actually use the gorilla and the jaguar as a secondary spirit animal. The jaguar is going to allow you to have an incredible bonus to your attack speed. It was actually another, you get a total of 5 stacks of Furiosity, which is 25 attack speed here, and you basically keep those stacks up all the time, which is great, so it gives you even more bonus damage. That's why I'm saying both of these helmets are really powerful. I've enjoyed the Loyalty Mantle a little bit better. I think it's a little bit better, but they're both really good, and they both have great value, okay? So those are the Spirit Hall recommendations, all right? Into the actual skills themselves, let's give this a really quick overview. You're going to max out your Rock Splitter. This is the main damage dealer for you. Go ahead and grab Accelerated Rock Splitter for Thorns. This is key, okay? From there, we're going to put a point in Stinger. We're going to roll down to Advantageous Stinger. This is just going to help me do some healing sustain if I need it. And this is going to mainly apply Vulnerability. So you definitely want to have Vulnerability here, and it's also going to apply Poison. If for some reason your cooldowns don't line up and you drop Vulnerability, you drop Poison on the enemy, you can use Stinger, especially on boss fights, right, to help keep vulnerability up 100% and keep the poison buff going. Max out your follow through. This is the main damage dealer for you as well. Okay, and then we're going to max out this vulnerability subtree here, max out diminishment, max out apex. You want to max out unrestrained power because through your secondary gorilla skill, you are unstoppable all the time. So this just gives you a 12% multiplier all the time. Okay, toxic skin. This is mandatory for the build because this boosts your thorn damage by 100 multiple. It's a 100 multiple on your thorn damage against poison enemies. It's very key for your damage output. 5 points in Armored Hide is going to actually help you increase the duration of Armored Hide, okay, meaning that you have a much longer duration of this bonus. You can also get substat rolls through tempering on some of your armor pieces that will allow you to lengthen this. I had this up above 6 seconds at one point, and when your cooldown is only 10 seconds, you're able to chunk through that with the boots. You can have about 50% uptime with Armored Hide. Is really great. Armored Hide is going to give you High Thorns bonus and Max Resolve when you trigger it. Okay, 3 points in Perseverance, an incredible amount of damage mitigation when you do have Resolve, which is fantastic. Okay, the Jaguar's counterattack is really great. This is going to give you bonus dodge chance. You could forego this. I was running with the Gorilla Ultimate for a little while as well. So you could forego the counterattack skill and just grab the Protector instead. But I found I really do enjoy having this bonus counterattack skill. And these counterattacks, while doing great damage, also trigger more thorn damage, okay? And when you actually activate this, you dodge all attacks for 3 seconds per cast. It's really, really incredible. Okay? All right. Oh, my goodness. And if you can get this to rank 5, you'll have 15% passive dodge instead of just 10%. Okay? Scourge. This is another decent damage dealer for you, and I may actually move the points over to counterattack to max that out. Maybe I should. This is a decent damage dealer for you, and like I said, it triggers all of your other abilities, which is really great, so keep that in mind, okay? Go down to the Adaptable Scourge, again, helping you get some HP here, and this is going to give you a little bit more damage multiplier against crowd-controlled enemies. 3 points in Anti-Venom is just going to help your poison resistance. It's not mandatory. I found I've enjoyed it for survivability. Okay, Bastion. This is a great one. This is going to help boost your thorns by a 20% multiplier when you have a barrier, which is pretty much all the time with the Gorilla build, okay, and give you good base thorns. 3 points in Auspicious is also very nice for survivability, okay? 3 points in Resilient for higher HP pool. We're going to go ahead and put 3 points in Oppressive for higher centipede damage and just a longer duration of crowd control on the enemies. And from there, we're just going to go ahead and grab the Prodigy's Tempo Ultimate. This is, again, going to help me boost all of my cooldown reduction on all my other skills. It's really, really great, okay? I've also had some success using the Adaptive Stance. This one I thought was interesting, but it's a little bit more tanky, whereas this one is sort of more of an aggressive just cooldown reduction, which is really, really great. You could also use Vital Strikes. Really, you have a lot of options with this build. Vital Strikes is going to pair really nicely with your gloves. If you are using Pain Gorgers, it will help you activate Vital Strikes and really abuse that skill to do incredible damage, okay? As well as generating lots of HP. But I did decide that I much prefer Prodigy's Tempo here, which is where we're at, okay? I don't like Noxious Resonance because this is going to consume the poison damage when you do a critical strike to poison enemies. I am not a fan of this. As you know, your thorn damage gets multiplied by 100 times if you, 100% multiplier if you have the enemies that are poisoned. So I'm not a big fan of Noxious Resonance, but more testing to do to really lock these in. Into the Paragon, folks. We'll keep this super short and sweet, okay? We rolled up the right side of the tree here. We did put in the vulnerability exploit glyph here in the first tree. Okay, we moved our way up into the secondary Paragon tree here where we grab the Vicious Shield ultimate, giving us bonus damage when we have a multiplier. All right, we were able to put in a glyph for higher Thorns damage based on our dodge rate, as well as higher damage when we have a barrier, which is fantastic. This overall Hubris glyph gives you bonus to magic nodes near you, okay? From there, we moved over and we grabbed the Spiny Skin. Okay, when I use a cooldown, you get 20% Thorns for 5 seconds. Again, we're leaning heavy into this cooldown spamming ability where you're dropping Scourge and Armored Hide all the time. You pretty much have 100% uptime with at least one of those, and that is going to give you this 20% thorns bonus, which is a big deal. Okay, we also, in this glyph spot, we're able to put in the Guzzler glyph. This gives us bonus damage when we're healthy, okay? From there, we have moved into our fourth tree here, where we grab the Revealing ability, which means I do bonus damage to enemies who are crowd controlled. I also am applying vulnerable to almost every enemy that I hit through the exploit glyph and through my stinger ability, which means that we have a lot of knockdowns here, which is great. And there's also some skills in the skill tree that give bonus damage to knockdown, which you can skill into as well. From there, we moved up into the gorilla damage based on your strength glyph, and these are really, really nice, both crowd control enemy and additive damage, and crowd control enemy, vulnerable damage. So I need to boost my intellect and my strength to get the bonus here, but incredible damage bonuses, okay? And that's where we are at. I have been farming, speed farming Torment 2 since I was Paragon level 90-ish, and I've been speed farming Torment 3 since I was about Paragon level 130, so you can get there really quick. And again, last thing to know, go to the vampire boss using your exquisite blood, because this dude drops some of the best stuff that you need, okay? This dude drops the chest, this dude drops the staff, he also drops a nice set of boots that you can use if you'd like. I think he drops Rakanoth's boots, okay, which are really, really powerful as well. Rakanoth's wake boots, these will help you do bonus damage if you decide to use these as well. And this is also a half decent set of boots. I don't dislike these boots. Gives you great resistance, okay, and also some cooldown reduction. So these are an alternative if you don't want to use the Hectic Warlord with this basic attack, reducing your cooldowns. If you can get enough cooldown reduction on the other pieces of your gear, you may not need those 2-second reductions, okay? So that is the video, folks. If you have enjoyed this Poison Thorn Explosion Spiritborn Torment 3 speed farming build today, please feel free to like and subscribe. I love you guys a long time. Randy out.